They said that it couldn't be done. They said it was like the Everest of Paydirt, a mountain all into itself. They said it was impossible. We're gonna find out. What is going on, prospectors? Dig Daddy out here in the shed, bringing you another episode of Backyard Prospecting. And today, we are going to do the impossible. Bag of Paydirt from Klesh Mining. Kleshgold.com. Got ourselves one of their impossible bags. And from the description, it sounds like we're going to have a hell of a time today. We're going to have a hell of a challenge today. What brought this bag about is I was on one of Shane's live streams a week or so ago, and he was talking about the various bags of pay dirt that he has and how this is this one has this in it, this one has that in it. And then he got to the impossible bag, and he said, you know what, just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. It's too hard. It's too difficult. You're not going to enjoy it. It'll kick your ass. And I thought to myself, challenge accepted. So I picked one up immediately after he said that. Got one shipped out. Got here in just a couple of days. It was super fast shipping. I gotta hand it to him there. And yeah, here we go. Today we're gonna bust into this little baggie. I'm gonna read the description for you, but I'll put it up here so you can read along. Boop, there you go. Lean this way so I'm not in your way. And so the gold impossible pay dirt, limited amount available, check back, yada, yada, yada. He's engineered this pay dirt to challenge you. There's going to be lots of heavies, annoyances, crushed pyrite. Yeah, those are very annoying. Tungsten powder. I've never heard of anybody putting tungsten powder in there, but tungsten's heavy as hell, so it's going to be in the way. And fine garnet sand. Now, when I want to be an ass, I'll throw extra garnet sand in there because I know it's going to add a challenge. So a lot of that, and of course we're going to top it off with some wet Washington Beach sand. Damn. So we're going to have our work cut out for us here. I'm going to have to turn the sluice down low to really let this work its way through and let that gold drop. It's going to be a challenge, and I'm sure I'm going to have tons of heavies even after the fact when we get down to panning this dirt. So there you go. The impossible bag. Now, this is going to set you back about $30. I don't recall if there was shipping on there, but we don't factor that into ROI anyways. But $30 is what we paid for the dirt. Super hard, impossible bag, and we're going to go through it. Now, it shipped to me here in a little manila padded folder, bag, rather. Comes with the old, the discounts and stuff. I guess he has a panning tutorial. If you want a QR code to scan, you can scan that right there. Go check out his panning tutorial. And that's it. That was all that's in the bag, the package. And then the pay dirt. Yeah, buddy. Now, the pay dirt itself is just single bagged, double heat sealed. A lot of people don't take that extra measure to do a second heat sealing. So that's good. If you have issues with your heat sealer, or maybe you don't have an adjustable heat sealer and it opens them up sometimes, doubling it up can definitely be a good benefit for the buyer. But no double bag. There wasn't a second baggie for the bag, so if something happened... Now, this is a sand bag, so I doubt that anything really would bust through it. or that it would bust open. It's not overfilled. It's maybe about halfway. These bags are about half filled. I can feel through the bag that it's all fine sands and heavies. This is a very heavy bag for as small as it is. But there is a 1/4 gram of gold guaranteed to be found in here, so let's get to it. I don't think we're going to be doing any sorting. The classification, it's wet from the description. Let's crack it open and take a look. Yeah, that's not going to classify out to nothing. So, all right, let's dump this out. We'll go hop over to the other screen so you can check it out, and then we're going to find us some gold. All right, so what we got going on, we got this gold impossible Paydirt. Wait, gold Paydirt impossible. And yeah, it's wet, that's for sure. Can definitely see a big old clump of black sand over there. Now, definitely going to say it's engineered because everything is kind of broken down in layers. There was this distinct black sand layer, a pinch of those tungstens, the tungsten that was mentioned, and then the Washington Beach sands up on top of it. Only real recommendation here is I would probably say mix the sand up a little bit so that it all falls out naturally rather than in layers, but it coming out like this. Oh no, I did finally get myself a Klesh guitar pick. One of my own. I already had one that somebody had sent me before, but I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get one in the last bag of dirt that I got from him. But I got one this time, so I'm stoked. I'm gonna put that somewhere around here so it doesn't get lost. But there you go. There's our Paydirt. That's what we're gonna be working through. You can see those chunks of tungsten in there. See the garnet sands in there. It doesn't look like you put too much garnet sand in there, just a little bit, maybe a pinch. A little bit of dog hair up in there. We'll pan that out too. All right. I don't see any gold, but I'm sure it's hiding in there somewhere. Probably a lot of fine gold. All right, let's get to it. Let's get it wet. All right. Now, we've got this Paydirt all wetted up, and we're going to get to it. Now, initially, I was thinking I was going to run it down the sluice, but, you know what I mean? After fine-tuning it down and turning it, slowing down the flow and all that, it kind of takes a lot of the fun out of it, because then I'm just sitting there scooping and waiting, scooping and waiting. And of course, I'm going to get the gold out of it at that point. So we're going to pan it out today. So I got all my stuff I need. Got my pan all ready to go here. Got that dirt all wetted up. Drop my snuffer already. There's nothing in it yet. And of course a little bit of jet dry to break that surface tension. Watch all the little stuff on top run away from the center. Ooh, drop it on the outside. Whatever. That's a lot of jet dry. Have to refill that soon. And of course, we got our shovel so we can scoop it all out. Now with it wet, you can see the little sparkly tungstens in there. Oh boy. Now I'm going to mix it up. Like I say, you could definitely see a lot of separation in layers when it shipped. So I'm going to shovel it around a little bit so that every scoop... Oh, hey. There's some gold right there. I think I got that. got that picker. Nice. Alright, what a way to start, huh? You guys see that? Let's throw that in our cup. Ding! Even not hanging, it still makes a beautiful sound. Alright. Like I said, we're going to do this a scoop at a time, one shovel at a time, so let's get to it. Bring you guys in for a better view. You can just see the sparkle from all the heavies that are in there. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy. And you can definitely see the residue of the tungsten across the top there. So I guess that's a lot lighter than I would expect it to be. I didn't expect it to, but that's just the dust. So, alright. Let's get rid of these beach sands first. There goes my sign. The hardest thing about this dirt is there's so much sparkle in it. But most of it's not gold. A lot of it is that tungsten. The tungsten sands that he got chewed up in there. A lot of that. So, eyes are going to get drawn to it a lot. In fact, my eyes just keep shooting up here. Because usually when you see silver color like that, it's silver, right? The hardest part is just staying focused and not tripping out on every little sparkle. So the key is knowing how gold moves. Knowing where your gold's at. So you're not wasting time chasing tungsten and silvery sparkles that isn't gold. The other problem with this bag, and I'm not going to call this a problem, the gold is all super fine. So it just sits right in there with everything. There's a lot of it, but it is so super fine. So a lot of these little sparkles very well could be some rogue gold that's caught a bubble of air and surfing around. So I would absolutely say have some good lighting when you're doing this, just so you can differentiate everything. Really watch that back pan when you clean out.
This bag definitely is going to require you to know what gold looks like. What it moves like. If you're a beginner, don't even look at this bag. Shane was absolutely right when he said, don't buy this. Most of you should not bother buying this because it'll be a lot of frustration, I think. But man, I'm having a good time. Chasing the little flakes when I know there's a ton of them up here, though. So let's get that wetted back up. Shake it back down. Now these tungsten sands, hopefully they don't stain the pan. Hopefully they come out. They look like they are. They're very, very different colored from the gold or anything sparkly, though. Maybe those silver things aren't pieces of tungsten. I just wrote them off as tungsten because he didn't mention silver. But that does actually look like it could be crystalline silver. But there's a lot of silver. Oh, that's right. He mentioned there's a lot of fool's gold in here, so that's going to be pyrite. Alright, the rule about fine gold is as soon as you have the opportunity to snuffer it up, do it. There we go. And this bag is going to be all fine gold. Except for that nugget. I think I got a bonus bag because I got one of the big old nuggets, that picker. But the majority of this bag, I'm guessing, is going to be all super fine, chase it kind of gold. And I'm okay with that, but it just takes time to go through. So these ones are kind of hard to do a video while panning because I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. But remember, this is just the first scoop. All right. Well, it took a while, and it's still not perfect, but there's your gold, baby. So much fine gold. Super, all fly poop. The whole thing is fly poop. And then there's that big picker that we found in there. So that was pretty sweet. But everything else, micro fine gold. I still have a little bit of a challenge getting some of this tungsten sand out of here. But there you go. There's the gold, and hell yeah, that was one hell of a time.
So we're going to get this sucked up, cleaned up, dried up, and weigh it out. We'll be right back. All right, dirt fans, welcome back. Whew, that was rough and tough. But we got it. We got most of the gold anyways. I think I may have missed a few pieces here and there, but I got out of there an amount that I am very satisfied with. Now, first and foremost, there's that picker that we found in there. Let's weigh that up first. Tear the scale. Tear it one more time. Boom. That picker alone, 348 grams of gold. So our quarter gram, we've blown past that. So that's an awesome inclusion right there. Can't get better inclusions than gold. Now, as far as the gold dust, after tapping it all out, we're looking at 0.596 grams of... Now what we got really is a mix of gold and tungsten sand. Tungsten is effing hard to get out of gold because they weigh so very close to each other. So I'm actually going to put this combo sands in a different vial than my normal stuff. Just because there's so much tungsten in there. I don't want to get everything infected into my other vial where my more straight up gold and little black sands are. To me, that's a lot of what I'm going to call at this point black sands. And it's just because the gold is so fine in there, it's just really hard to get those separated out. So I may need to put these through a sieve to get the bigger gold separated out, and then I can work on separating the fine gold from the fine tungsten. That all being said, I estimate there's probably about 30% of this pile that's going to be tungsten. So that being said, we're going to take a little bit of the 059 and that just goes away. So we'll say 030. That may or may not be correct math. Either way, it's definitely above and beyond what we were expecting to get, and that's an awesome amount. So 030 would be pretty much 50%. I said it's about 30%. It's a little less than 50, definitely. There's more gold than not. So I guess that, well, hell, I'll do the math in a minute and I'll give you my ROI in just a little bit. But there you go. We'll say it's going to be about 0.35 to 0.4 grams right there. I'll math it out here in a minute. But that little picker by itself was 0.34 as well. So, of course, I talked too long. And so we're going to look at a total . 0.934 minus a little bit for the fact that a lot of it is tungsten in there. I actually sucked up a lot more tungsten than I realized. But either way, we did awesome here today. The impossible pay dirt paid off. Absolutely. Let's go give you my final words in ROI right after a couple pictures. Whew. All right, welcome back, everybody. Man, that was pretty amazing. Now, let's start off as always by talking about the dirt. Klesh, impossible gold pay dirt. Now, we just shown that it is not impossible, but it is difficult as you're gonna get. This is by far the most difficult pay dirt that I've ever gone through myself. And why? It starts off with Washington Beach sands as its base. That's already considered some of the most difficult pay dirt to go through already. he added crushed pyrite, which is just going to throw your focus everywhere. In addition to that, there's tungsten sand in here. Now, you usually don't see much of the tungsten sand. Usually you'll see a little itty bitty amounts there at the end. But there was a significant amount in here. When you break it down, that stuff just sits right there with the gold because it weighs essentially the same thing as gold. And that's where we get our difficulty here. As I was sitting here trying to decide what was the most difficult aspect of this bag, I really couldn't settle on any one thing. You have the glitter of the pyrite that's going to be throwing your focus all over the place. While you're trying to look for that gold, you're going to be finding pyrite sparkling everywhere. And you're going to freak out. You're going to think, oh, there goes my gold. But chances are it is. Some of it is probably gold. But there's also a lot of pyrite in here. So you really got to focus down on what you're doing. Which is why I didn't want to run it through the sluice, because that tends to process too quickly. And it's going to maybe miss a lot of that fine gold anyways. But what it's also going to wind up doing is catching everything, because everything in this bag was considered a heavy. Once you got rid of the blonde sands from the beach sand, all you had left there was the black sands from the beach, which are super heavy in magnetite, along with a lot of the other heavy black sand, what is actually black sand, your hematite, your I always forget what they're called, the silicates, not the silicates. Anyways, all of that was here, plus a healthy amount of tungsten sand as well. It mentioned garnet sand. To be honest, I didn't notice any garnet sand. What really caught my focus was that tungsten sand, because what happened is the tungsten sand, weighing almost exactly the same as gold, sat in the same space as gold, and it just enveloped the gold and hugged the stuff. Which made it really hard to actually see the gold because it was covered in tungsten, and you really had to work to get those things separated. You had to do your tilt just at that right amount that the gold didn't start sliding, but the tungsten did. And it's a very fine difference there, because they weigh so very close to each other. And that crushed pyrite, that's kind of heavy as well, so that likes to hang out there in that space as well. So you really want to go through this slow. I went through a half a teaspoon at a time, and this had me out here for hours. It's difficult. It's really hard. He is not joking when he says don't buy this, because most people, I think, are going to be extremely stressed to go through this. It's going to be very frustrating for you. So don't get this unless you are absolutely sure of your panning skills. And what is most important in this bag is know what gold looks like, because you're going to see a lot of false flags in here, and you're going to see a lot of hiding going on in here, and you're really going to need to know what does gold look like so that you're not letting it fly out the bottom of the pan. Now, let's talk about that gold. Tons of flour gold in here. Just tons of it. It was completely covered on the bottom of the pan. Every single scoop had a bunch of flour gold in here. And it was really difficult to get that separated from that crushed pyrite, because they look so very much alike. The color shade that he picked to crush up was not quite gold, but it was really good. So like when the light hit it, it almost looked like you were losing little flakes of gold in there. But at some point, you just have to trust that that's not gold, and that's what gold looks like. So be very conscious of it. So it's important, really important, to be familiar with the way that gold moves, the way that it looks in different states, and how it moves along with other material, because all of those are going to come into play when you're doing this bag. Now, as far as how much gold we recovered, that's a little bit up in the air. I did a couple evaluations, and I originally said I thought there was probably about 30% of this sand that's the tungsten. I'm actually leaning a little bit more closer to 50%. Even still, that leaves us with basically 0.300 grams of gold, which is above that quarter-gram guarantee. So we definitely got what we were promised and then some. Now, I am pretty sure this is a bonus bag. And the reason I say that is because, as it states in the description, the bonus bag is going to have a little nugget of gold. And I absolutely found a little nugget of gold. This guy alone wound up weighing out at 0.345 grams of gold. So that in itself is above and beyond what we were expecting to find in this quarter-gram guaranteed bag. So, what that leaves us with, and let me scoot over here so we can put up the sign. Boom, there we go. We paid $30 for the bag. We recovered somewhere between $37 and $42 worth of gold. So that's going to leave us with a today value of 37 to 42 bucks. But what that leaves us down here at the bottom, an ROI, and I'm going to give the ROI on the lower side because, again, I want to err on the side of caution. I don't want to overshoot this, of 123%, which even at that low end, that is an awesome ROI. 123% blows it out of the water. Again, I do think this was a bonus bag due to the bonus nugget being present in there. But even still, a great bag to go through. Even without that nugget, the challenge, and we're going to throw the term experience out here, the experience of it really challenged me. And that's a great value in itself. A lot of Paydirt, I just bust through it really quickly, and it is what it is, and we're done. This one, I had to earn it. I had to really go through there with a fine-tooth comb, play with the sands, brush stuff away, second guess myself. So the Impossible Gold Paydirt bag from Klesh, do not buy it. It is too damn hard. If you like punishment, go pick yourself up a bag. I'll leave a link down below for you. But while you're there, if you're not sure and you're still like, is it impossible? I don't, tungsten sands, oh man. Man, check out his other Paydirt. He's got a lot of other stuff there. Read the description and let it know what you're going to get. He's very clear about what you're going to get. Guaranteed minimums. And there you go. Go pick up something over there. Support Shane. He's got a great YouTube channel. You probably are all subscribed, but if you're not, go check that out too. Klesh is the name of the channel. And he does all sorts of reviews and trips and gold getting type of stuff as well. So go check that out. Other than that, I just want to thank you all for tuning in here today. Dig Daddy out here in the shed, signing out. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're not a subscriber so you don't miss any of our future content. If you like what we're doing here and you want to support the channel, please go head over to my Patreon page, link down below in the description. And you too can sign up to be a patron. Get in at a $5 level and you get entered into a monthly raffle where I'll send you some Paydirt potentially. And if you get in at the $50 level, I'm just going to send you some special Paydirt every month for your support of the channel. And I thank you all for tuning in. Even if you're not a patron, just make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the content. This is Dig Daddy signing out from the shed. If I don't see you out at the river, I'll catch you in the backyard. Peace! They asked me why. Because I can.